Now, you must have heard about Hippocrates oath. That is one of your small questions in your university exams. Now, what all you can incorporate in your answer when it comes to Hippocrates oath? One thing that it is an ancient code. It is a code of ethics. So when we say that a doctor has sworn in the Hippocrates oath, he has a graduate degree of medicine or maybe post graduation, the oath says that the person should behave in a manner which is with cognizance with the ethics. Now, what is ethics? Ethics is something which is moral value. Now, I have written down some points here so that you can write them in your answers. Okay. So, this Hippocrates oath dates back to ancient Greece. There was a person called Hippocrates. That's why it is called Hippocrates oath. And it was written in 400 BC. Now, it was not in common practice for a long time until 20th century, when people realized that there could be a lot of malpractice that can happen when it comes to medical practice. Now, when you're supposed to save someone's life, give him good medical facility, take care of his health, and rejuvenate him from the disease that he is facing, the problem that he's facing, there is lot of moral values that come into picture, such as administering medicine, giving him good medical facility, giving him the right medicine. All this is to be done consciously by the doctor. So since 20th century, people started realizing that there could be some things that could go wrong during the practice and which could lead to diseases or could endanger the life of the person. Now, when you say endangering somebody's life, you quickly understand as a legal student that it is important that someone's life is protected legally as well by each country. Okay, not only India, every country gives importance to protection of life of the person, of every person rather. So coming back to the oath, it says that the person has to provide best care for the patient. He has to maintain patient confidentiality, which means that the patient might have shared certain instances of his disease or certain such information which cannot be disclosed, and that has to be kept between the patient and the doctor. So the onus of preserving that confidentiality lies on the doctor. So this comes under the oath. Also, it mentions that the person cannot administer poison or harm a pregnant woman. Now, a pregnant woman is very important even in legal context. If you see that the person, the woman who is pregnant has got her own rights, we will also see PCPNDT Act, which is in your syllabus, which talks about this. And it is very important because there is another life within her. And as I said earlier, life is protected by law. And hence, even medicine gives that value, that moral value to not harming or to protecting a pregnant woman. The last one is refraining from inappropriate behavior. Now, you might have seen that in many cases, you might have heard in news that the doctor misbehaved with his patient, or maybe he went ahead and did some other things which come under section 354 of IPC. Now, is it right? The patient has come to you for some solution, for some medicine, for some answer to the disease or the pain, the suffering that the person is undergoing. And at the time, instead of treating the patient, misbehaving with the patient is considered a crime, right? It's not right morally as well, but as far as legal parlance it is concerned, it is a crime. And hence, you might have read about some doctor misbehaving with his patient, and this comes under the oath that they have to refrain themselves from any inappropriate behavior. Now, when you say Hippocrates oath, I spoke about patient confidentiality. There is a relationship of doctor and patient which relies upon trust, on faith, The patient has come to you with tremendous faith in his mind that he is going to be healed. And that's why it is important to maintain the confidentiality of information that he or she shares. Now, this is also called as physician-patient privilege, and it relates to information that is shared with the doctor. Maybe any kind of, say, experiences due to the disease, or rather some medication, or rather some kind of instances that the person might have faced, because you don't know instantly. If you sneeze, you know you have a runny nose, but if there is something else that is happening within your body, do you understand? You being not a doctor, you're not going to understand what is happening to you, but the doctor will. So sharing that information with him is something that is going to give the patient a solution, but for the doctor, it is his responsibility to maintain that information under confidentiality and help in accurate diagnosis. Now, this information is not just some chit chat, it is vital information regarding some person's body and his condition that he may be facing, any medical condition. Maybe the person is insane and the person is maybe facing dementia, which is in common parlance, we say it's a memory loss, but the patient is not going to understand that. Now, after realizing the doctor, I mean, after the doctor realizing that the person is losing memory, say if he starts creating some doubt in his mind, giving him false information, giving him false medication, what will happen to the patient? His condition will worsen. So this is the basic premise of Hippocrates oath and the relation between a doctor and a patient. As I have mentioned here, helps in administering proper medical care. Giving him that appropriate medical care is very important. Say if there is a person who has come in an ambulance, and the person has to be admitted in ICU, that you and me won't know whether his condition is that critical, that the doctor will understand, and hence giving him that proper medical care at that time is very important. Also, at the same time, he has to see to it that such information is not discussed or it is not given out to anybody else, because it is a privilege between the doctor and the patient. Now, there are certain exceptions. In what exceptional conditions the doctor can share or the doctor can give this information to someone else is, one is insurance claim, obviously, that the patient himself may give out because he is claiming for the, say, surgery or the treatment, which is very costly. Second could be the lawsuit. If there is a case which is instituted against the hospital or the doctor, then the doctor is called for. He has to present his case, so he cannot held up or he cannot keep it with him. Third is case study. When the doctor is teaching his students, juniors, that time he has to share certain facts of the case that he has gone through, maybe some critical or maybe some unique case that he can share and tell that, okay, this had happened, and this is how I treated him, and it was a success. So at that point in time, sharing the information does not come under doctor-patient confidentiality. Fourth is minor or mental patients. So in case of sharing information of a minor or of a mentally unstable person with his guardian or parents also is an exception to the confidentiality. So if you get a question, it could be a small question itself. You can incorporate all these points, explain it with some example like I have given you. If you know any judgment, even if you don't remember names of the parties, say X versus Y, you can just write X versus Y if you don't remember the names, and go ahead and explain the case as to how it is important or how it is applicable in that point, and make a good answer out of it.